Welcome back to the deep dive. We're digging into something pretty serious today. It's all about AI products and this, well, frankly, terrifying security crisis that's unfolding as everyone rushes to get them out the door.
Yeah, our sources actually gave us this perfect metaphor right off the bat. They're calling this the era of Swiss cheese AI.
Swiss cheese AI. Okay.
Right. The idea is that these new AI products aren't just, occasionally buggy. They're built with holes, like a security colander or maybe a buffet for hackers. One source even said they have more holes than a cheese factory's reject pile. And it's really important for you, the listener,
Mm.
to get this. We're not just talking about old school bugs here.
Okay.
In traditional software, right, a bug was a mistake, something unintended you could find and patch.
Yeah, standard practice.
But with these AI products, what we're seeing are architectural vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're almost treated like features.
Wait, hold on. A vulnerability as a feature. How is that different from just like a really, really bad bug? Are you saying the AI is meant to be insecure?
Well, meant is maybe the wrong word, but yes, in a way. The AI relies on statistics, on pattern matching, not strict rules. It's just trying to do what you asked, like generate code or answer a question based on patterns it learned.
Okay.
And if those patterns include, say, code that bypasses login screens because it saw that somewhere online, the AI might generate that bypass with high confidence. It's the system working as designed using this non-deterministic approach. That's the inherent flaw.
So it's like building your house frame out of, I don't know, cardboard and being surprised when it rains.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. So our mission today really is to unpack this. Why this AI gold rush is turning into a security nightmare for, well, everyone using this stuff.
But also why it's a total jackpot, a dream scenario for the cybersecurity industry. They're the ones cleaning up the mess, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're booming.
Okay, so let's get into it. If the flaw is architectural, deep down, where does this whole problem really start? The sources seem to point straight at the AI, writing the code itself.
That's the ground floor, yeah. When you use AI for coding, it pumps out code incredibly fast. It sounds really confident, but it's often completely oblivious to basic security practices. It's like hiring a world-class chef who's never heard of washing their hands or, food poisoning.
Doesn't sound like a chef I want cooking for me.
Right. The AI is just matching patterns it found online. And guess what? A lot of online code examples are old, insecure. The sources mentioned AI pulling Stack Overflow answers from 2009 with massive vulnerabilities.
Oh, wow. From 2009. That's ancient in tech terms. And we're not talking tiny flaws here, are we? These are the big ones.
Exactly. The classics. SQL injections, authentication bypasses, cross-site scripting.
Yeah.
SQLi and XSS. These things are coming standard, like freebies with the software.
Okay, maybe a quick refresher for listeners. Scalus and XSS, what do they let hackers do?
Sure. So SQL injection, or SQLi, is when an attacker slips malicious commands into input fields, say on a website. This tricks the database behind the scenes into spilling data, often like huge amounts of user data.
Right, accessing the database directly.
Yep. And XSS, cross-site scripting, is different. It tricks your browser, the user's browser, into running bad scripts that can steal your login details, hijack your session, things like that.
Nasty stuff. And AI is just generating code with these holes baked in.
Often, yes. And the bigger picture here is the lack of human checks. Why is this getting out? Because companies are rushing. They're chasing KPIs, trying to innovate faster than the competition.
So they skip the boring security reviews.
They skip the essential security reviews, the penetration tests.
Yeah.
They ship the AI-generated code way faster than security teams can possibly review it. The AI doesn't get why security matters. It just generates what looks like a correct pattern.
Speed kills, I guess. Or at least speed creates massive security holes.
Which brings us to the evidence.
How bad is...
Really,
Yeah.
well, get this. XPOW did penetration testing.
Yeah.
Ethical hacking on web apps. They found serious vulnerabilities in 75% of them.
Wow. 3/4. 3 out of 4. That's not just a warning light flashing. That's the whole system is fundamentally broken. The Swiss cheese is collapsing.
And that 75% figure, it directly explains the maintenance nightmare men.io reported on. Companies are constantly patching AI-generated code.
Constantly putting out fires.
Exactly. The report literally described it as playing whack-a-mole, except the moles are data breaches and they multiply exponentially. It's just exhausting for the security teams.
Okay, so constant patching, constant emergencies, and that's where the cybersecurity industry comes in. This is the jackpot part.
That's the jackpot. Every single one of these vulnerabilities, every breach caused by insecure AI code, it's job security. It's huge contract for cybersecurity firms.
More holes mean more money for the fixers.
Pretty much. Our sources say the industry hasn't seen a boom like this since ransomware really took off. It is a genuine gold rush for pen testers, incident response teams, security consultants. They're booked solid.
So to really grasp why this is such a big job for them, we need to understand it's not just one weak spot, right? You mentioned a supply chain of failure points.
Precisely. It's not a single hole. It's layers. The
Right.
sources called it a vulnerability multiplication factory.
A factory. Okay, let's walk through those layers. You said there are four, like 4 layers of Swiss cheese stacked up.
That's a great visual, yes. 4 layers, each making the problem worse. Layer 1 is the foundation. The flawed AI models themselves.
Flawed models, how so?
Well, AI models have unique vulnerabilities. Things like training data poisoning, where someone
Huge.
sneaks bad data into the learning process, adversarial attacks, tricking the model with weird inputs,
Yeah.
and model inversion.
Model inversion. Okay, what's that? Is that like a data breach?
It's sneakier than a standard breach. A
Yeah.
data breach is stealing the raw data, right? Like the customer list.
Yeah.
Model inversion is different. The attacker queries the trained model, observes its outputs, and uses that to figure out specific data points it was trained on. So the model itself starts leaking the sensitive info it learned, even if the original database wasn't hacked.
Whoa. So the AI itself becomes the leak.
Exactly. That's layer 1. Layer 2 is what we already talked about. The insecure AI-generated code, full of those SQLi and XSS flaws.
Got it.
Layer 3, that's the AI-powered apps and websites deploying all this mess into the real world. Super fast deployment, remember. No time for testing.
Right. Rush to market.
And then layer 4 is the prize. Your sensitive data. All your personal info, social security numbers, health records, financials, just sitting there behind all those layers of holes.
Like one source cynically put it, we didn't just create a single point of failure. We created an entire supply chain of failure points. It's innovation.
That nails it, unfortunately.
So let's talk about how hackers are actually exploiting this. What are their playgrounds? The most famous one seems to be prompt injection.
Prompt injection. Yes. This is like a gift to attackers. It targets how we talk to the AI.
How does that work?
You basically trick the chatbot. You write a clever prompt that makes it ignore its safety rules, reveal confidential data it shouldn't, or even run malicious commands. The source has had a great line for it. Social engineering, but the target has the IQ of a potato.
IQ of a potato. Ouch. So the attack vector isn't technical network hacking, it's language, manipulating the conversation.
In many cases, yes. It bypasses technical security by exploiting the fact that the AI doesn't truly understand context. It can't always tell the difference between your instructions and its own internal rules.
And which industries are most at risk here? Who's rolling out AI the fastest without thinking this through?
Well, the ones handling the most sensitive data, naturally, finance, healthcare, government, they're rushing to adopt AI, often without solid security frameworks. It's like they're hanging up signs saying, H8 me.
We're already seeing warnings, right? Didn't Chase Bank flag this for e-commerce?
Yes, exactly. Chase warned that e-commerce sites are under attack, specifically because of these AI-driven flaws.
And hackers are getting creative, exploiting the AI's blind spots? Like what?
Oh yeah. Beyond just prompts, they're looking at things like slipping malware into the training data itself, or even stealing entire proprietary AI models while the company is busy tweeting about its AI transformation. The focus is so much on speed and features, security is an afterthought.
Which leads to this idea of security theater. Companies want to look secure, right? They buy tools.
Right. Platforms offer tools, scanners, monitors. But our sources argue it's often just theater. It's like selling umbrellas in a hurricane because the core problems are architectural. They're fundamental to how the AI works right now.
So the standard tools don't cut it.
Not entirely. Look, automated scanning is great for finding known flaws, like that old SQL code.
Okay.
But it's basically useless against new AI exploits. The weird stuff the model does that no one predicted, you need human experts for that, deep testing.
But that's expensive and slow, so companies skip it.
Often, yeah. And continuous monitoring helps, but it's exhausting. It's like bailing water from a sinking ship with a teaspoon. There's no easy set it and forget it fix for AI security today.
And the stakes here are massive. Adoption is just speeding up what the source is called reckless deployment.
Absolutely reckless.
If security isn't baked in from the start, user privacy just evaporates. It becomes this quaint concept from the 2010s, as one source put it.
That's the real danger. And the core problem seems to be this kind of AI hype blindness. Everyone's chasing the shiny new AI thing,
Yeah.
and they've forgotten to ask the most basic critical question. Hang on, is this thing actually secure?
And the answer, based on everything we're seeing.
Is a resounding no. Not yet, anyway. Not without fundamental changes.
Okay, so what's the path forward? We can't just stop using AI, can we? What should companies be doing? The source has laid out some concrete steps, right? A kind of 4-point plan.
Yes, exactly. It moves beyond just basic firewalls. First,
Mm.
companies need to invest in AI security platforms, not just standard web security tools. We're talking specialized platforms designed to actually monitor the inputs and outputs of the large language models themselves, integrating these deep into the development process.
Okay, that sounds expensive up front.
It is. But trust me, cleaning up after a massive data breach and facing regulators is way, way more expensive, exponentially so.
Right. Point 2.
Train your teams. This isn't optional anymore. Your developers, your security people, they need specific training on AI risks. How do you spot model inversion risks? How do you validate training data? How do you write secure prompts yourself?
So ditching the old move fast and break things
Mm.
mantra.
Absolutely. You can't break your users' trust and leak their personal data. That's not innovation.
Makes sense. Third point.
Proactive testing and red teaming. This is huge. You have to hire people, ethical hackers, to try and break your AI before the actual attackers do.
You mentioned red teaming. How's that different from standard pen testing for AI? What are they looking for?
Good question. A standard pen test might look for known code flaws or network issues. An AI red team goes deeper. They do adversarial testing. They try to actively trick the model, find the edges of its understanding, make it hallucinate sensitive info, or bypass its own rules through clever prompts or data manipulation.
So they're really testing the AI's brain, not just the code around it.
Exactly. Think of it as offensive security insurance. One source argued it has a better ROI than actual cyber insurance sometimes, because preventing that brand damage is priceless.
Okay, and the last point, number 4.
Threat intelligence sharing. This is critical. Companies need to collaborate, share information about new AI attacks, novel prompt injection techniques, new ways people are poisoning models. Right now, that knowledge is too siloed.
So working together to fight a common threat.
Precisely. And look, this isn't just about avoiding disaster. Doing this stuff well, it becomes a competitive advantage. Companies that actually invest in AI security now, they're the ones who will build real customer trust. They'll avoid the catastrophic breaches, and the ones who don't, well, they'll keep people like me, the security consultants, very, very busy for the next decade.
So wrapping this up, the promise of AI, it's undeniable, right? It could genuinely change everything, unlock huge value.
It absolutely can. The potential is enormous.
But only if these systems aren't, as the sources graphically put it, leaking data like a broken pipe.
Exactly. The Swiss cheese doesn't have to sink the ship. We don't have to drown in vulnerabilities unless, we choose to ignore the holes and just pretend it's solid Gruyere.
A choice that seems unwise.
Deeply unwise. And remember, the boon for cybersecurity, that's already happening. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
But maybe the truly provocative thought to leave everyone with is this. The next big shift in AI security probably won't just be about better tools or firewalls.
What will it be about then?
Accountability. Real accountability. The question isn't just, can AI be secured? It's, will the fear of massive lawsuits, regulatory fines, and brand extinction finally force the industry to slow down the hype train just enough for security to actually catch up? That's the multi-billion-dollar question right there.